I'd like to begin with a story. It was April 30, 1943, and a body was picked up by a fishing boat off the coast of Spain. The dead British Marine, Captain William Martin, was an Allied courier who had died in a plane crash at sea and whose corpse had washed ashore. In his pocket was a military ID, a picture of his fiancée, and several love letters. And in his briefcase that was secured to him by a small chain were two very important letters. The first was from the Vice Chief of the Imperial General Staff, written to the British commander in North Africa. The letter suggested that there were going to be two operations that would be launched by the Allies in the Mediterranean Sea, and clearly identified Sicily as a diversion for the true targets of the attack. Now, the second letter was from the Chief of Combined Operations to the British naval commander in the Mediterranean. This letter corroborated the information contained in the other letter and indirectly indicated that the Allies were going to attack Sardinia in the west, which left only the Greek mainland and the Balkans for the target in the east. Now, the body of Captain Martin was very quickly turned over to the German intelligence services that were operating in Spain. And after some delay and a little diplomatic shuffling, the Spanish government eventually returned Martin's briefcase, his body and his briefcase, apparently unopened. But when it was returned to London, microscopic examination revealed that the paper had not only the briefcase had been opened, but the documents had been photocopied. Now, after a quick post-mortem, Captain Martin was buried with full military honors, surrounded with floral tributes from his family and his heartbroken fiancée. The local newspaper carried his obituary. Now, there was only one problem. Captain Martin never existed. The body was that of a 30-year-old man who had died of pneumonia. His military ID, the photo of his fiancée, the love letters were all fake, fabrications created by British intelligence. The letters contained in the briefcase were also fake. They were designed and intended to deceive the Germans into taking action to prevent Allied attacks where they would never occur. The military funeral and the obituary were intended to further authenticate the deception. And furthermore, Captain Martin's body didn't wash ashore after being killed in a plane crash. His body was placed in the water off the coast of Spain by a British submarine. Now, this is known in history as Operation Mincemeat. And the German intelligence services bought the deception hook, line, and sinker. They reported that, quote, the authenticity of the captured documents is beyond doubt, and that measures regarding Sardinia and the Peloponnese take precedent over everything else. As a result, Hitler ordered the strengthening of these two locations, moving resources from other strategic military installations. And on July 5th, 1943, when the Allies came ashore in Sicily, they caught the German and the Italian defenders almost completely by surprise, and by August 17, Allied forces had taken complete control of Sicily. Now, during time of war, things are seldom what they appear to be, and we are in a war. Now, I like how Khalid El-Hassan describes military deception. He said it is the art of misleading an enemy during wartime via information warfare and disinformation, psychological operations, manipulating and amplifying the fog of war in which the opponent operates, visual deceptions or similar methodologies intended to get the foe to act based on wrong intelligence. This causes the enemy to do what he shouldn't do and refrain from doing what he should do, and otherwise operate at a disadvantage in a way that could be exploited by the side pulling off the deception. Now, as Seventh-day Adventist Christians, we believe that the war between Christ and Satan, as presented in the Bible, which we know as the Great Controversy, is the paradigm through which we can properly understand what is happening in our world today. Now, what we often fail to remember is that we are in the middle of that war. We're not on the sidelines as observers somewhere. Satan is doing everything he can to deceive each and every one of us. And the knowledge of the broad picture that God has revealed through Bible prophecy comes with the inherent danger of a false assurance that this information somehow removes the need to concern ourselves with the strategic details of the enemy's ongoing operations and to maintain constant communication with headquarters. Now, can we simply enjoy our lives and wait for the unfolding of final events that Revelation has presented to us in broad strokes? What if circumstances leading up to those events don't happen as we assume that they will, and our choices place us on the wrong side? And what if the devil has so perfected the art of military deception that we could be deceived into doing what we shouldn't and refraining from doing what we should? You know, it has been said the devil is in the details. And those who choose to ignore the details may find themselves embracing the devil they chose to ignore. Now, we've been told in the great controversy that none but those who have fortified the mind with the truths of the Bible will stand through the last great conflict. Those who do not will find themselves rummaging through the devil's briefcase, attached to the corpse of a lie, buying into the misinformation strategically placed there for the purpose of deceiving.